Hello and welcome to Critical Tumble. We're a bunch of longtime friends and absolute nerds transcend geography through the power of Discord to play Dungeons and Dragons and critically fumble a lot. Uh, Good news and bad news. Bad news being Antheus, who plays Furseth, is not feeling very well, so he's not going to be joining us today. However, we have a new player. Yes, somebody else wants to join this absolute lunacy. Um, what name do you want to be known by for the eight people who watch this bullshit?
Oh, either's fine. Whichever.
Um, I go by real names for about half of you, so you'll be part of the half, I guess. Meet Marion. She is actually from closer in my time zone. And you will find out exactly who she plays later. Now I'll give a quick introduction to the rest of these guys. Starting with the person I've known the longest. Meet Ben. He's from way back in the Daria fandom. Oh my god. And he sort of fell into the party fairly late. He plays Nye, our Pact of the Archfey warlock. And oh, he's going to be so much fun to mess with. It's entirely Ben's fault that I met Ethan. Meet Ethan. I met him in New York. He is no longer there. He is very grateful for this. Um, he plays Darvin Taylor. You will know him by an entirely different name. Um, our our lore bard. The other two, I know from a Star Wars: The Old Republic roleplay guild. Now they get. I think one of them still roleplays other places within the game, but is still on my having divorced it from the entire MMO because I got fed up with it. So meet Noms. Noms is our champion of strong, angry. I have had quite enough of this bullshit women characters. He plays Remy, our Oath of Vengeance paladin of Tritherion. Tritherion in this setting being the god of justice and retribution. Then there's Smeagol.
How?
Do why we call you Smeagol. Just this once.
Tricks and hurts will start from us.
I told you so.
I can taste that one.
As I move my headset out of the way for reasons.
Yeah, he as well as the Star Wars thing and the everything else, he's been my more or less constant partner in Overwatch, The Secret World, currently Final Fantasy XIV. I don't know how he doesn't get fed up with me, but he doesn't, so I keep him around. He plays
the older sister I never had.
pretty much, yeah. He plays Hazel, our life domain cleric. Hazel is the one that is incredibly infuriating, weirdly lovable, and absolutely invaluable to the party because she keeps you all alive.
Clerics are cool, yeah.
All alive.
Yeah, pretty much. You ever see that piece of fan art with Pike holding up the sign, "I'm the only reason any of you is alive"?
Oh, I don't think I have seen that one, but it would be fitting.
Yeah, that's for Hazel too. I almost see her with the sign, holding it up anytime anyone gets really angry with her.
Well, except that one time that double-bladed axe.
Anyway, we'll introduce you to Antheus, who plays Furseth when he's feeling a bit less in significant pain, poor sod. We will get to your introduction momentarily, because there's some stuff I'm going to have to cover with you quasi-separately. But we'll run through what these guys are up to in the meantime.
Okay.
Previously, the Cupcake Coterie, yes, they are actually called that. There are reasons. I'm sure they'll come up someday. Um, went to the free city of Alzor High, there to join the Brass Arrows, mostly because they need to hunt a really nasty two-headed snake for its equally nasty poison to make a dragon, well, as part of their bid to make a dragon-slaying weapon. They also need to find, among other things, a gelatinous cube somewhere along the line. They need living acid. It's a thing. They had a temporary party member who they proceeded to completely screw over by absolute accident, and currently she is en route elsewhere, hopefully not going to get devoured by something horrible sent by Tiamat, because Tiamat no longer likes her face, if she ever did. This is partially down to Nye, one of his patrons, sent Nye and Co. out for a pendant that turned out to be very important to Tiamat for some reason. It actually being held in a secret room in an old tomb dedicated to her. It basically put a mark on the poor protector Azamar barbarian that she will be lucky to survive this. Not that they all entirely escaped this unscathed. Darvin made the judgment call to inform this barbarian that the 5 governors of the provinces of Equitas, the country that you're in, are actually ancient metallic dragons, all 5 of them. This is not some people know, very few, but most of them keep it to themselves unless somebody else finds it out. Darvin actually told, and then admitted that he told. He, in fact, volunteered the information that he told. That was how their friend got denied entry to the Brass Arrows, which was actually all she wanted out of life, and now is under a curse. Once a day, for anywhere between 1 to 4 hours per day, he becomes a rabbit. So he's had his first day of rabbitdom, and now they are at the Tipsy Pixie, a rather upmarket inn, bar, and kind of brothel out in the bit they call Little Feywild. If you see, I have a map. Discussing what to do next. They are now officially Brass Arrows, and they need to figure out what next. Begin. While you guys are considering
Where did
exactly
we leave off? Dinner time on Bunny Day?
Lunchtime on Bunny Day, and in point of fact, Emil, the barman, actually gestures to you guys to come out to that a little bit that serves as a concierge desk.
I'm
Come.
going over there.
There have been, while you have been away, messages for you.
Blink, blink.
One, I will begin with because it also comes with something that I will have to send further on, is from the governors of Equitas. Entire. All 5 of them. I do not know what it is about you people, but you are very strange indeed.
Nye is trying to become one with the wall.
Actually looks at them all and then hands Remy, the only one who doesn't look to be panicking, an envelope. You apparently read this first.
Thank you very much.
I'm scooching over to read.
The note reads, "When we first met, I said to remind me to give you a thing, and you forgot. You are all incredibly stupid, and I do not know how you are still alive, but I am not going to deny a faithful of Bahamut just because she associates with idiots. The enclosed parcel will be sent to the little paladin in progress of Bahamut once you have seen this. Regards." And when Emil sees that the note has been read, he opens up a crate and pulls out. It's scale mail. It's a sort of a silver platinum color with a blue surcoat with the sigil, however we're pronouncing this, of Bahamut on the front. I imagine there is something that I do not understand about this, but it seems to please some of you. Froseth is just, I'm not sure whether I'm glad or not that I'm not going to be there when she gets that.
We'll probably be able to hear the excitement from here.
I am speaking.
And Froseth is just like that, yeah, but louder.
Yeah, pretty much.
Emil then stuffs the scale mail back into the box. This time hands an envelope to Darvin. It's a bulky envelope. It's clearly got something inside beyond a note. This is from Alice.
Gulp.
I'm backing up.
So Remy's making grabby hands at this. Are you actually trying to take it, or are you just...
Hey,
Not snatchy, but more.
give me a minute.
firmly
I'll
grasping.
give me a minute. Give me a minute. I will carefully open it.
The first thing you see inside is her set of thieves' tools.
Oh.
And 2 notes. One's got the Cupcake Coterie written on the front, the other has Remy.
I will quickly hand Remy the one. There you go. Didn't even look.
Thank you.
Some things I don't want to know. Not my business.
The one to the Cupcake Coterie says, "Dear Darvin, Hazel, Froseth, Remy," who's got her own note, in parentheses, and even the blasphemous elf.
I never did apologize for that.
This is not exactly where I expected life to be going. And I have a feeling I'm going to find some kind of money bullshit in my bag when I get out of here. Because you people are fix it the stupid way. So I'll thank you in advance. Darvin, you're probably getting a bit better, but one of the things about bards that I've met so far is they don't have to be 100% forthcoming all the time. With the people that they love, sure. With people that can wreck the lives of those you're supposed to be guiding and supporting, probably not always. Think before you speak. Your tongue is a weapon. Use it wisely. Also, I know you're probably going to forget to pick up a set of these tools of your own until it's too late, because you forget everything until it's too late. So since I'm not apparently going to be doing the whole tomb raiding thing in the near future, I've enclosed mine. Whatever money you put into my kit was probably massively overpaid, but hell with it. Hazel, you're adorable. I'd say don't change, but everybody changes. even you. Just try not to get less enthusiastic. As long as you point that enthusiasm in the right direction, you're fine. Remy, I've said my piece to you already. Blasphemous elf. Be careful. Not with them, they're well-meaning destructive. But you're being otherwise supported by some seriously capricious shit. Keep your eyes open. Wish me luck, and, any prayers to respective gods that could be pointed in my general direction wouldn't go amiss, because apparently Tiamat wants me dead. I don't really blame you guys for that, because you tried. That's probably your team motto. We tried. No, seriously, you're not that bad, and it was fun. You gave me a taste of what it is to be a hero. My part in helping to save this world was small, but it existed. And if that means a god wants to flatten me, well, fuck it, I don't care. Luck to you all. Blessings of Palor, Oril, Tritherian, and everybody else. Alice.
Okay, Remy's gonna read that one over the shoulder of whoever's holding it, and then.
Well, I was reading it out loud.
Oh, okay, that works too. Then she's gonna take hers,
I need to
turn
hug
so no
her.
one else can read over her shoulder, and then read her note, not aloud.
It's actually very short. Dear Remy, it would have been nice, but short and sweet is good too. Thanks. The L word, Alice. Not, she doesn't use the word, she just writes the L word.
The hour.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Oh, that's adorable.
No.
Yeah.
Aw. Okay, Remy will fold that up and stash it somewhere.
Yeah, you guys just see Remy read. Deception check. And insight for any of you who want to figure out what's going on in her head while she's reading that.
Deception.
The one thing I didn't do was break out my character.
17.
Finally! This is the first time you've actually made a halfway decent deception check for one of these.
Ouch.
21!
Fire, fight me.
So, I'm guessing that this is just a guess. Faint blush. Little ghost of a smile, and then fold, stuff. Nope.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I just raise an eyebrow and don't say anything. No need. I know Remy well enough by this point to not make a big deal out of it. So
Yeah, Remy's not gonna notice as long as nobody's giving her major side eye about it.
What
Nah.
is Hazel doing?
I'm not.
Not even side eyeing, just glance and trying to look not directly at her as much as possible. Like,
Hazel
just trying to-
exercising that high whiz, I see.
Yeah, Hazel is actually remembering that she has an exceptionally high wisdom score. Okay, so, yes. It's like, okay, I am terribly sorry to have kept you from your lunch, but this seemed important. I will send this to your home. Sure.
Shooing.
I'm going back to wherever the
Yeah,
restaurant.
since the rabbit incident earlier and the whole putting one of his stuff in danger, he's polite, but he's not as into you as he was when...
I'm also going to be on the lookout for Kezi.
It's lunchtime. She's not usually on shift.
So, what's next?
Well, unless we want to go check in with... So we're going to have to double back into the place where the brass arrows
The quiver.
work and live and stuff to be looking to see if there's a job board or something saying go here because things like that are over there and we need them chopped on, and hoping to find what we need.
And they're monster hunters. One of them's bound to know where we can find the snake.
Yeah, that's the idea. We go there, we check, we get our information, unless we want to just hang around for the day.
Now let's get rolling.
Froseth pipes up with, also, it wouldn't hurt to, take a bounty in the area. If we're wandering around a country where things are more expensive than we're used to, we need to keep an eye on keeping the coffers full. Besides, Hazel has her life mission.
Yeah. Which I need a healthy amount to replenish the funds for.
Okay,
Wait, huh?
That's fair.
The taxes on...
Oh, right.
Do not ever forget the taxes, Darvin.
we may be out to deal with the problem permanently, but in the meantime...
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. I
Never
got
forget the taxes.
Besides, there's
Sorry.
still always going to be taxes. Better to stock up for eventualities.
Yeah. Okay, so we go to the quiver. Alisaie's right. I did completely forget about the thieves' tools. It was on the list. We just hadn't gotten there yet.
At which point, Flitty from the top of Froseth's head pipes up, "But your problem is you always forget the list exists."
Do I understand
score
this
one
at all?
for Flitty.
Sylvan, so yes. And then repeats it in Draconic for Froseth.
You're right. This is why I'm asking more instead of saying from here on out.
A wise move.
About time. I'm not entirely stupid. I'm no longer
You're just
quite made of
adorably clueless like me.
Hey, look, even Flitty said I wasn't made entirely of stupid. Anymore.
The percentage varies.
At least it's a percentage. It's no longer 100. I'm getting better. Trying, at least.
100 is a percentage.
Dragon. Oh yeah, looking for the office. Whatever looks most
Well, I mean-
important looking.
We walked by it. That was the place where everybody was lined up, wasn't it?
I am going to save you idiots from yourselves. Marta sort of leans over and goes, "You do not want to go to the administration offices for that. The administration offices you saw are where people go for trials. To sign up for trial, to say they pass, to say they fail. That, at least, if they do not skip the entire thing. There are taverns that have job boards of various types. The one you want would be the bullseye.
Gotcha.
That
Thank
tends
you.
to deal more in the reptilian and the draconic. Is a good place to go if you are looking for people who want you to hunt snakes."
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marta. Greatly appreciated. I was actually about to suggest we get up and ask Emil. Just save me
You
some
do
time.
not want to ask Emil. I think he needs a bit of a break from you.
We get that a lot.
You
Can't imagine why.
You came in as rabbits, that's why.
Yeah. That might. Never mind. Anyway.
Yep.
Turns to Hazel. Do you want to leave a message for Kezia? You seemed very fond of her.
Oh boy. And I'm turning very, very red.
Tell you what, write something down and send it over. When you stop choking on your own spit. It goes back to the bar.
It's either choking on that or choking on spice or. No,
No,
I take that back. You weren't the one choking on the spice. That was me.
And I.
Darvin, paper.
Oh, sure. Hold on. I actually know where that is this time. Oops.
Hazel heard your name and was immediately incoherent.
Welcome to the party. This is what you're gonna have to deal with.
Oh, that's fine.
Did that close?
Yoink goes the paper, and I'm just off on a table scribbling.
Okay, I won't ask specifically what Hazel writes, but it'd be kind of nice if you could write it out for me at some point, just so I
That's
know.
the plan.
Awesome. Okay, so that done,
Mm-hmm.
you head for the quiver and the bullseye. We,
Yep.
as an audience, will go a little bit ahead of you to the bullseye to meet up with Ava. Ava, you've been at the bullseye for a couple of days. You've got a basic little room with a basic little bed, but it's your own. Rented at a medium term kind of a situation until you know where you're going. You came back from your successful trial to join the Brass Arrows a few days ago, but the party you
So I've
were...
only just become a member then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because these guys know the trial that you have to go through requires some significant bullshit. Your party, unfortunately, scattered to the four winds. A couple of them were only doing it to be an extra blip on their references when they went to Belarus to join the mercenary companies. Somebody else just wanted to travel around and thought that it would look good, that kind of thing. So you've been left more or less to your own devices for the past few days. But you've heard rumors. Really interesting rumors considering your background. There's a new adventuring group in town. They bypassed the piles and piles of paperwork that you had to fill out just to get the chance to prove your worth, and went directly before the governor. 3 times. Once when they first arrived, once when they came back, apparently waving around the hide of an Umber Hulk. You know what an Umber Hulk is, and you can see what they beat.
Whoa.
They left surprisingly less jubilant than they entered. They came back a 3rd time, and they came out again, 2 members down and 2 rabbits up.
So I've seen them, or not yet?
These are the things you've heard.
Rumors, right?
You may have been called to a window in enough time to see a very short woman in navy blue and bronze chased armor, a mid-height elf with hair as white as your own, a silver dragonborn, of which you have never seen a silver dragonborn in your life. There aren't supposed to be any anymore. And that silver dragonborn compounded his... What am I even looking at right now? By holding 2 rabbits. One, this really pretty little butterscotch thing with the really little pointy ears, and one sort of off-brown lop.
Very, very sad looking Lop. Look,
But the rumors have gone that the two of them that were apparently somehow replaced by bunnies, apparently had Baronsphere accents. One of them was from that little, well, large geographically, but little in terms of population, agricultural breadbasket of Baronsphere, Goldendale.
Mm-hmm.
The other one had fairly upmarket accent for that, what everybody here calls that little backwater, which probably gets your back up every single time. And the accent wavers somewhere between Star Coast and your own barony of Cedar Grove. So they are apparently, and this is quiet rumors because there are certain words you don't speak too loudly, even if you don't necessarily know the reasons why you're careful about the D word,
Mm-hmm.
is that they're out to protect that backwater from a dragon.
Well, that would get my attention.
The paladin is even carrying a shield made of black dragon hide.
Hmm.
So it's entirely possible that these people are prepping to deal with a black dragon of some sort. As you're sitting pondering the rumors that you've been hearing over the past, the bunny thing is actually fairly recent. They only went past a few hours ago, which is why you were there to. Oh, this is the ones they're talking about. Ooh, yeah, that shield is made of dragon hide, but they look busy and there's rabbits, so I'm gonna think on that for a while. A few hours after that, the dragonborn, the paladin, the elf, and the two others walk in. And one of them, the human with the off blonde hair and the really spiffy armor, actually, looks incredibly familiar. That would be one young Lord Reginald Taylor Green. When Darvin, give me a perception check, because she's been specifically looking. I want to see if you notice her before she Yeah, yep. At around about the same time as she notices you, you see a face you never thought you'd see again. A little hard to recognize because the hair is shock white.
You.
But this is Lady Aveline Vanadar. She was supposed to be dead. Her manor burned. The entire family died about 3 years ago.
Reginald?
no.
Reginald?
Long story. Moving on.
Oh no, someone else knows about the Reg thing.
The Reg thing?
Long story. Moving on.
Yeah, don't mention the Reg thing.
I don't even
You're
think
supposed-
Remy knows about the
What
Reg
Reg
thing.
thing?
Remy doesn't know about the Reg thing.
Remy doesn't care about the Reg thing.
She's
Not yet.
morbidly
He keeps
curious.
asking.
Hold on a minute. There was the fire and everybody,
Yeah.
and you.
Long
3
story.
years.
The entire tavern. It looks more rustic than a city would suggest. Just to give you a picture, it's timber plank walls, and it looks more like something you'd actually find in Baronsphere than anything else. High rafters. The chimney doesn't quite pull right, so you're getting a smell of smoke. Strong smell of ale. This is a merc monster hunter tavern. So it's very bare bones, very basic, but it does the job, as it were. So you're there in these somewhat scruffy surroundings with with Lord Taylor Green and Lady Vanadar staring at each other, babbling, effectively.
Seen you in like,
I am grabbing both of them and moving over to a table and sitting down.
hey!
Oh, hey! Wait. Okay, we need. Okay.
We'll figure this out. Let's just get situated. And I'm
Yeah,
looking
I need a drink.
for anyone who might have, who looks like they have, like the information person for the tavern.
On one wall, there is basically a very large plank of wood with bits of parchment effectively nailed to it. That
Beeline.
seems to be the job board.
Yep, beeline.
Okay, I'm gonna start by dealing with Hazel. Hazel, make me a perception check.
Okay, here we go.
18. Wow.
It takes some digging because there's a lot of paper on there, and not all of it's really helpful to you. There are a lot of things in this province, and they all sound really creepy. Somebody wants bits of scorpion carapace, and they are actually charging by the inch. So apparently you're supposed to be trying to get whole chunks of carapace, and the more whole bits, the better the rewards are. So that sounds like it could be fun. But eventually, after much digging around, you do find that there is something that's looking for snake fangs. They've got to be of a certain size, and from the stories that you've heard and the various extrapolations, an amphisbaena would have fangs the size that you need, and you're looking, for some reason, they're looking at 10 platinum per fang.
I am taking this one.
Yeah, but funnily enough, it's sort of towards the back, which is why it took you a minute to find it, because apparently nobody wants to touch that one. Apparently somebody decided that if it's 10 platinum per fang, that may be a little bit too much for their blood, as it were.
And I'm also looking for anything mentioning cubes.
And now we roll the hand of fate. Nothing involving cubes.
I'm going to see if I can find an actual person again.
There are a lot of people. Most of them are looking at you like, what the fuck, dude?
And I'm stumbling back to the table where I sat the other.
Okay, well, Hazel's been rifling through the board and was not even sensible enough to go, okay, the actual customers are staring at me like I'm crazy. Maybe I could have gone to the bar. What have you guys been doing? Actually, Froseth, being the sensible one, is going, I've got the money. I'm gonna go get drinks.
Thank you. I was about to ask you. Because
Yes, because the monk who's only been drunk once in his life is a wonderful choice for that, and walks off.
just ale, just unale, whatever is fine.
The elf is looking very, very interested.
And who?
I imagine it's tennis match, kind of.
Yeah,
Alright.
basically. Just that.
Okay, can
How-
Remy do perception to look for someone who looks like they they know what an experienced monster hunter that they can question for sake of knowledge.
Would that be perception? That might. No, actually, we'll go for perception. Go for it.
18.
Wow.
You're looking at one.
Nice.
You're sharing the table with one.
Mm-hmm.
A little green, but she's got the tattoo, same as you do. You can just about see it through her own gear. It's one of those things where if you focus, it doesn't even matter how thick the armor is, you can still know it's there. Also, everybody else in this room is an experienced monster hunter. That's the whole
That's fair.
point of this place.
And paper on the table.
One second. How are you even here? Everything was gone. Everyone was gone, or so I thought.
That was. I got lucky, I suppose.
Okay.
I didn't get out. I mean.
Were you even there when it happened? Or
Oh, I was there.
Jesus.
Ava finds that there is a small blue fairy dragon sitting on her head,
Hey!
leaning upside down.
Oh, Flitty. That's Flitty.
He's trying Draconic and Sylvan. So there's a point at which you come close to understanding, because Sylvan and Elven are similar,
Similar.
but the only thing you really get is it's trying to communicate.
Hi, I don't speak. I think it's Sylvan.
That's another one who can't talk to me. This
Sorry,
isn't
Flitty.
Sylvan. Oh, I just thought she
I'm
looked
translating.
sad, so could I maybe curl up around her neck?
Translating.
Yeah, well, okay, go ahead, Hazel.
Oh, Philly. Flitty.
Yes, you've had that translated.
Oh, it's alright.
Yeah, just
It was a few years ago.
still winds around your neck like a little scarf. Poom.
Okay. I haven't seen many fairy dragons.
If you hang around with us, you're going to see a lot.
Oh, really?
When we finally get home.
Also,
So-
we are looking for doing to be this, and I'm holding up the paper practically in his face.
Hazel.
Snake fangs? What for?
Well, the paper needs the fangs. We need the actual Ampis Bana itself.
A what?
Well, we need to.
Do I know what that
Roll
is?
me nature.
No.
Give me a nature check.
Nature. First roll.
Just click on the word, and you should be good.
Normal roll. Ew.
No, you have no the hell idea what Amphisbana is, but you're assuming it's not a fail, so you're assuming it's some kind of snake. Big snake from the looks of it.
Familiar with the Amphis what?
Basically, it's a
really
big,
two-headed snake. It's nasty.
very.
Oh.
The Dragonborn speaks up and goes, "We're actually not looking for the snake so much as its venom. And also, we've been really rude and haven't given names. You know Darvin, or you know the name he had before Darvin. I'm Furseth."
Darvin.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Hazel Heartheart.
Flitty.
Yeah,
Flitty
Hearthheart.
Crestwind.
Hearthheart's a name you know.
Oh.
There's actually been there's a ballad that goes around ever so often about the quick flight diminutives, and one of the quick flight diminutives was a Rand Hearthheart.
Hmm.
Halfling, really, really sneaky rogue ranger type.
Oh.
Apparently this one is, but the problem is that Hearthheart's a halfling, and so was the quick flight he married. So, adoption maybe.
So, well, okay. I mean, you survived. Somehow you ended up here. You know what? What with one thing and another, I'm not going to question. Although that's a story I would love to hear. But and obviously you're a brass arrow, so awesome. Um,
Well, so are you, I believe, aren't you?
yeah.
How she knows that, you have no idea.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're here, so yeah. I mean,
Well, there's
if I
that.
weren't, we
but
wouldn't be here. So,
That's true.
but have you heard about? You've heard about Star Coast?
You
Yeah.
have heard about Star Coast, but only in
Yeah, what
very
happened?
vague details. A fog came in, uh, basically encompassed the entire city. It never passed, but people started just moving out of the barony entire. The leading noble family died. No details on how, but apparently under mysterious circumstances. And everybody else cleared out. No apparent reason.
Is there any indication as to if it was like an effect of the fog, or if they were just scared of it, or?
The the capital, the city that's called Star Coast after the barony itself. Apparently, no one left that city, and no word has ever come from that city. It's like everyone in it just vanished. Everybody else didn't move so much because they were scared. It was like the place didn't matter anymore.
Huh. That's weird.
So yeah, you've heard weird things, but since you've arrived here, it's a backwater. People do weird shit.
Well, we know what happened because we were there,
Oh.
and it's led us here.
Yeah, Star
There's a-
Coast is like halfway. Star Coast is on the southern coast. You guys are sort of in the middle country and a very long way west. So
We're sort of.
There's, basically, I don't want to get into the whole thing here. Let's put it that way.
We're getting this stuff to
Yeah,
put
that-
together a weapon to deal with the
Yeah. Sure.
problem that, well,
Big.
points to Remy's shield.
the Black Dragon
Yeah, I
Hive.
suspected that might be what you're going to.
We're kind of on
Actually,
a quest.
that accepting nod though. This is the only one
Wait,
who's ever actually given any indication that they know anything about Black Dragon Baronsville at all.
Wait. How do you know? Insight check.
Go for it.
You know what? Yeah. That.
You can certainly try.
16.
And succeed quite well. Well,
Uh,
look at her modifier.
But I don't know the modifiers.
It's the number in the little
Wait,
brackets
why did that-
next to
there it
the.
goes. 22.
Oh, right.
Yeah, look at their modifiers for that.
They have
One is a 6, the other's an 8.
They know everything.
Well, they don't know everything, but they do know that they know that you're on the level. That you definitely know for absolutely certain that there is a black dragon ruling Baronsville at the moment. And they get the feeling, Darvin certainly gets the feeling, that it's somehow tied in with the mysterious burning of her manor and the death of her entire family.
So you know about the circumstances in Baronsvere. Definitely.
Some.
Did that have anything to do with 3 years ago?
From what I could figure out.
Because that would make a whole lot of sense.
Indirectly, maybe. I'm not positive yet. I'm still working on figuring that out.
It all had directly to do with what happened in Star Coast. And we're I hate we're similar in the sense that, well, we've lost a whole lot of everything. I'm relieved on so many levels I'm just relieved you weren't gone.
It's good to see you again too.
Yeah, sorry, I'm
while.
still a little stunned by all this.
Froseth has come back
Advertise that I've
with
survived.
Froseth has come back with ale, by the way.
Oh, bless you, Frosa. Thank you.
Turns
Oh, yeah, I get it.
out he's managed to find the stuff that Benson brews over in Goldendale. Apparently, he exports very occasionally. It cost a bit, but I thought you needed it.
I've already started. Like,
Oh, no.
Distract me from this weird back and
They don't
forth.
have the half. They don't have the half mugs. Oh no.
This one's actually got a bit more used to strong liquor, given some of the shit you guys got up to in Belarus. So
True enough.
And I've gone through half of it already.
So, need I ask? I'm indicating the ale on mainly.
This is from home.
Yeah, this is home ale.
Ah,
The Golden Bough.
Yes.
Benson at the Golden Bough brews this. Yeah, it's very lovely. As if I wasn't already homesick.
Ava's actually familiar with the one ale brewed in Goldendale. It is actually quite good, mostly because the quality of the wheat in the area is top notch.
Okay, well, I mean, yes, there's more explaining that needs to get done, but preferably not here.
Probably not the best place now.
But we are going up. We have to hunt down the two-headed. We have to hunt down this snake.
And
Now we have two
if
reasons.
we can find one.
Yeah, you haven't heard anything about any gelatinous cubes or where ones might be found or anything of that nature?
This time, make me an Arcana check.
Ew. I'm super trained in Arcana.
If that doesn't work, we'll try Survival, because that was another option.
Oh, 17.
No,
Not too bad.
this is one that makes sense as a question for Ava specifically. They tend to like tombs. The area that's listed in that bit of paper that Hazel's been waving around does
You might
have
want to keep it down, by the way.
does have a tomb nearby. It was supposed to be a shrine to. Nobody can actually read the name of the god anymore, but certainly not any of the better known ones.
Well, 'cause it's a name like Mr. Splitnik or something?
No, nothing. But that's the thing. It's not legible anymore. But it has always seemed certainly not an Eldritch Horror tomb.
Well, we certainly know a thing or two about illegible gods.
oh.
Hazel is okay with the one mug. I'm gonna have to start asking for Constitution if she takes another one. And you do
That
have
quickly.
you do have Froseth sort of, when she's downed the mug, just sort of slide the mug away from her with one claw and the flagon away from her with the other.
Yeah, you're on water for a couple of hours now,
Yeah, it's fine.
and I'm sipping mine because I'm crazy, not stupid. That and it's home. Well, what we are currently staying at the Tipsy Pixie. Long story.
Mm-hmm.
So we were planning on heading out tomorrow to go after
Kill
things.
snake.
Yeah. Although if guys, what do you think? Cube first, then snake, or snake first, then cube?
Would I know which would be
whichever one
best?
we have the better lead on.
Well, I mean, this one's already calling for action. I mean, we have an actual contract on snake, so
Since I've already done a
snake
Let's
little
go
bit
with the
with
snake
it,
then.
I
Nasty,
know
though.
which would be best.
Guys,
Do this.
guys, one at a time. Ava, please.
sorry.
Since,
Ava, what?
have I done? Yeah, I've done a couple missions with the Brasser, haven't I? So
You
would I
well,
know
you
which
you
would
did
be
you
best to
did
do?
you did the trial mission. You might have done one other, and that's why you've got the 25 gold. But it wouldn't have been a serious mission for that kind of money.
So I wouldn't know which would be best to do first.
In your experience, if they're talking about giant snakes, you might not have the option of deciding which, because the snake is more likely to find you, and the gelatinous cube will
Won't
require
move.
finding.
Right.
You have to go to a specific place in that old shrine to find the gelatinous cube. The Amphisbaena may just take a chomp out of you one day for reasons.
Well, if you're not sure which one to go first, I'd say head towards the cube, because that's not going to go very far. Whereas the snake's going to move, and if we run into the snake on the way, all well and good.
True enough.
That works.
True enough. All right. Keep an eye out for the snake on our way and hope for the best, I suppose.
Exactly.
It's not the worst plan. Well, Froseth, what do you think?
I'm just making sure that, because this was never clarified. Does this mean, Ava, that you wanted to join us on our hunt? This was apparently just assumed.
I'm gonna try and sneak another half mug.
But no,
And
I
Froseth
meant
just
you.
put
It was a slip of
hand
the tongue.
over the mug.
It was a slip of the tongue. I meant you.
No,
No, I mean, you're more than welcome. I mean, I was going to extend the invitation.
I won't say that. Obviously, what you choose to tell us is your business, but given the way you've looked at that shield, and the things that we haven't been able to tell you in a public space, I think that you probably might find more of what you're looking for with us than sitting
I've been
in
thinking that myself,
a chat room.
actually.
Let's put it. Let me extend the invitation to join us on the hunt, because if nothing else, while we're on the hunt, we can talk,
Well,
because we have a lot to talk about.
I believe
Yeah.
so too. Well,
About
if you're
that,
willing, I'm game. I mean, my previous party went to the Four Winds, so I'm.
Not poorly, I hope.
No. They just
Okay.
went all in their own.
Oh, they just went their own. Okay, they just went off and did their own thing. Okay.
it's just
Left.
that
Yes, Remy? Sorry.
the last new person who came along with us things got a bit complicated.
Well, that's the nature of adventuring, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that we're not standard adventurers. This
Oh,
isn't
there,
a brass
is there
arrow
ever a
thing.
standard adventurer, really? Come on.
Remy?
At which point
Um,
you've got Flitty sort of leading up with Furseth translating again, going, "That's why we think she needs to come with us, because she's probably got the same problem,
Yeah.
and
Remy.
we can at least protect this one."
Yeah,
Remy?
okay,
What
that's
do you
fair.
mean?
Remy,
You just-
point blank, she's involved.
Okay, that's fair.
Also, maybe she could come and stay with us at the Tipsy Pixie. Their
I mean-
rooms
Where
are.
was I? Oh yeah, where was I saying?
You've
Yeah,
got a
you're
room
there.
upstairs, but it's a little dinky. And
Hmm.
you've heard about the Tipsy Pixie. It's comfy. It's the kind of comfort that you haven't known since your
Mm,
house
wow.
burned to the ground.
Mm.
In a lot of ways, it's a different style. It's a different custom, but in a lot of ways, it reminds me of home, not home. Um, Hazel and her family. Hazel, is it okay if I give her some of the history?
She's coming with us. She's
She's
gonna find out.
involved already.
Okay. Well, Hazel is adopted, and so myself and Froseth have also kind of been adopted as well.
And
So-
Remy from Froseth. Don't forget Remy. And they've probably
right.
already
Oh,
they've probably already adopted Nye in advance.
More than likely, it's a thing. They adopt
Oh,
wayward souls. But when I say
yes,
home,
I probably haven't been introduced.
we haven't made it back there yet. We will.
He means
No, I mean to. And I make a motion at
Oh.
Ava.
What? You hold out your hand?
Yeah,
No, just like-
she's gesturing
I'm just
at
like-
you.
Oh, right.
Yeah, not the handshake motion. Just so like I haven't been introduced to. No.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. Nye.
No, yes,
Ava,
you're right. I don't
Ava,
think I caught
this
your
is
name.
Nye.
Well,
No,
I don't
gotta-
have my name either. I call myself Nani Varvanimo.
You speak Elven. It does mean he who. You're gonna have to say that one because I can never remember the exact wording.
He who laments his lost home. I have a pretty long story behind that one. Everyone just calls me Nye.
And the
Well,
little fairy dragon is trying desperately, and I'm Flitty, but you don't understand me. But your neck is comfy.
Flitty there.
like it, I guess.
Yeah, I'll translate that, even though I already said
Yeah,
I said Flitty's name. So Flitty, this is Ava, Flitty.
it sort of nuzzles that bit just at the juncture of your neck and your ear.
Flitty, honestly, in a lot of ways, Flitty is the best of us.
I'm sure you're not that bad.
The dragon may as well be our leader.
Yeah, we mean well, but I've made a lot of mistakes.
Well, they say the path to hell is paved with good intentions.
Oh boy.
The Froseth is just which hell? I thought there were a few of them.
I mean, all roads lead to. Well, never mind.
You get used to them.
Boy.
Is
Yeah.
Froseth's only comment at that point.
But yeah, no. I go by Darvin. No. It's a bard thing.
And Taylor with a Y.
Well, I
Froseth
go
pipes
by
up again.
Ava, so I can relate to that.
Yeah, he is Reg no longer.
Shut
I'm
it.
Evelyn no longer.
I'm not using it anymore. It's gonna be done here on out. Just had to clarify.
Anyway, so yes, did you want? You're welcome to stay with us in the Tipsy Pixie. I
It'll
mean,
make coordinating easier, I guess.
in the spirit, I mean, they have. You can either room with Hazel and Remy, or you can get your own room. Either. In the spirit of everything, hell, I'll spring for the private room if you want one.
Froseth is like, that's party funds. We're doing fun.
Mhm. Okay,
I'm going to try to sneak another half mug.
Hazel.
Can I see if I spot her?
If you want to roll the perception check.
Do I roll stealth?
If you want to.
Oof.
Oh,
Oh.
damn it!
However,
I see it too late.
you see her too late, and the only reason you see it is because Froseth the Perceptive just hand over the mug again.
Come on!
Have a glass of water, and I will see about getting a small cask to take away.
Okay. And I'm going to do that.
Yeah, they're
Thank you, Seth. You're sitting closer so you can reach better. I was already looking out for it, but
reaches with the dragonborn hand. It's not so much that I'm sitting closer; it's just I've got longer arms.
that's a fair point.
I should probably move my mug to the other side.
Shit.
I am not stealing anyone else's ale, Nye.
Yet.
Ever.
First it goes. I actually find them somewhat endearing. I'm not sure if that's because they've broken me or not, but
Look, like first, Seth, you know what I said about Felicity? The same thing applies to you.
yeah, that's part of what I'm worried about. I just stand at the back and notice things, and
That can be
Punches
very
things.
important, though. Not noticing things gets people killed.
Good point.
looks at. Yeah. Keep in mind that I've been almost killed twice by the party already, and technically actually killed by the party once. It was an
She
accident.
kind of gives you a weird, like, what?
One of our allies back in Goldendale was very helpful in that regard.
Were they in their right mind?
Oh, you mean that? No, it was. And looks at Furseth, looks at Darvin for a second, and then and he's clearly watching for the Twitch. Thunder wave.
It was the first time.
It was.
The arcane spell?
He cast it.
Yeah, and it was the first time I did, and it kind of went badly.
He wasn't trained as a bard so much as he became one by accident.
There were feathers
How did you
involved.
become bad by accident?
We met him in a tavern at the very edge of the barony of Star Coast, because basically sobbing into the one beer he could afford, because the main noble house of Star Coast, he was entertainment at a party.
Yep.
He made them sneeze feathers because he got bored, and he got thrown out without getting paid. We got into this to try to get him paid.
Yep. We never did get me paid.
And now
we
you live.
looted several hundred golds worth of gems,
That's true.
a great deal of gold, and at least 2 magical items in there. I'd say you got overpaid.
She
Yeah.
just giggles.
He got
haven't
hazard
changed.
pay, given what we ran into.
Yeah,
in
and at this point, Darvin kind of just goes silent because now it's like, yeah, I got overpaid, but then I lost a whole hell of a lot too.
Flitty sort of lands on it nuzzles Ava again, lands on Darvin's shoulder, curls up, and says,
Hmm?
"You should have a cookie. Everybody should have a cookie. Ava should have a cookie."
You know what? That's a
I like
very
her.
good idea. That's a very good idea. And I'm gonna wait. Hazel, do you have the cookies, or Froseth, do you have them? I can't remember.
Hazel
which one
has the cookies.
I have produced the cookies.
Yeah, basically it's this big sack of cookies, which Flitty flies to,
Yep.
grabs a cookie, and
Everybody's
goes
getting
back onto Darvin's shoulder. Munch, munch, munch. Kind of like a squirrel. Munch, 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 munch.
Everyone's getting one. And I'm going to take an extra one for Felicity when Felicity finishes the one.
Thank
Just
you.
holding it. I'm just holding it, ready, and I got the other one.
Ava's kind of looking at Darvin. You haven't changed, have you? You always were a trickster, even as children.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah. And I've always been a little bumbly, so.
A little.
He broke an enormous crystal chandelier once. Do you remember?
Look, the steward said it would hold my weight. And it would have if somebody hadn't pushed me and started it swinging.
That was
So,
not me, by the way.
Darvin,
Not me.
was that somebody at this table?
No, that was absolutely not me.
No, actually, I never did see who it was.
Deception check. I have a feeling.
It wasn't me. I was considering it wasn't me, but alright.
Well, if you roll low on deception,
And
it
that
was
one!
you.
I used that one
What was
insight.
that?
Oh, that
If-
was a nat one for insight.
Hold on,
From
hold
Hazel.
on. If
Sorry.
if Ava rolls low, it was her. If she rolls high, it wasn't.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Wait for me. No more. Oh. Okay.
It was, but Hazel believes her.
So,
was an
Darvin,
accident.
seems like you've got something that
I
outdoes
tripped
the
and
crockery.
pushed and bumped into him.
It's childhood. I'm not even going to worry about it.
Yeah, Darvin, you've outdone the crockery. Chandelier's a lot more than crockery.
And Process just goes, she has a point.
Yeah, I guess. I suppose. Although their existence didn't depend quite so much on the chandelier so much as the crockery did for that poor bartender.
What if someone had been standing under it?
I nearly was. Good thing I was swinging, because I actually managed to swing out from underneath it when it fell.
Yes, you were pretty close to landing under it. Yeah.
Mm.
Now that I remember.
Yeah, I stopped swinging from chandeliers that day. That was the last one. It only took one.
Probably wise. Probably wise.
Have I obtained water by now?
You've
Oh, yeah.
obtained and drunk water. We're not gonna go entirely step by step by step.
So anyway, yay to joining us at the Tipsy Pixie.
Happy to join.
Okay. Private room or no?
We'll stick with private rooms just in case Hazel, for example, wants a goodbye.
Ooh.
I'm gonna need someone to spot me for that.
I'm pretty sure we can manage something.
Slowly turning progressively redder, like I'm
we
turning...
can manage something against your cut of the fangs. How about that?
Okay. I have now turned the color of tomato.
The Tipsy Pixie.
You have actually heard of the Tipsy Pixie. It's there is
Kind of higher end.
Yeah, there is a higher end negotiable affection thing going on. Unfortunately, Remy's lady of the evening of choice is now on her way elsewhere. So,
Ah.
at which point, first let's just go. Well, I mean, if you weren't particularly interested in that, you could probably share with Remy. It might be a bit soon.
Yeah, I can spare the bunk.
Well, either's fine with me.
Okay. So I mean, let's finish our ale and then head on to the back to the Tipsy Pixie.
All right.
I'm and first that is just I'm looking at this as I can share with Nye and let Darvin also have a room of his own.
Oh, I was okay.
Yeah, I mean, I only make half of the use of the room anyway.
It's more that for reasons I don't want to discuss right here, I'd rather someone in the room with you. We worry.
Should I worry?
We'll
Oh,
we'll explain. I'm sure that at least one room in the Tipsy Pixie we can sit in for some privacy to explain that far, because we probably don't want the situation where we're having to explain that we have to do something
I pointed
because
to shield.
reasons.
Mm.
Remember
Yeah,
the
I suppose I owe
pendant.
you a little bit of explaining as well, I guess.
Before you guys head off, first, true to his word, does get it's less a cask and more individual serving bottles of the Golden Dale Ale. I won't drink it in the main tap. We won't drink it in the main tap room, but if we're gonna be borrowing one of the rooms to talk in, we could probably use the fortification.
Vibrating, still completely tomato red.
You go up without me. I'll deal with the rooms and negotiations with Kezia.
Negotiations.
If you have a preference, Darvin, now's the time.
I like Marta. She's really down to earth, and I really need that right now.
Noted. We'll put that most of the money will be going from those is going into the party funds. So
I hand her 10 gold because if I'm staying with them, I mean, not gonna let them pay for all.
No, it's we the room's already covered.
You sure?
yeah, we're fine. We're fine for the time being. If you want to pitch in,
At least for tonight.
if you want to pitch into party funds in general, we can discuss that after we know where everybody stands. But
All right.
for the time being, the rooms are covered, and it's we have the rooms. Somebody may as well use them.
All right.
Thank you, Froseth. That's what I was going for.
You'll learn.
Like I said, I work better with lyrics when I can have time to write them first. So
Learn improv.
working
and
on it.
Leads the way to
Can we make a little pit stop in the flintlock? I want to check something.
Okay.
In the what?
Okay.
If you look at the map I've got up, Flintlock is number 3. It is
yeah.
the area where you buy armor,
Alright.
weapons, and survival supplies.
I got it.
You probably went there to stock up when you actually got your membership.
Mhm.
We will find out what Hazel wants to check up on in a few minutes because we take a 5-minute break
Oh yeah.
between, and
That
we're at
time
about that time, so now is a good time to do it. When we come back, we'll have apparently shopping in the Flintlock and proper private conversation.
Yep.
And we're back. The Cupcake Coterie plus current hanger-on, they haven't actually explained to her that they're called that yet, are headed to the Tipsy Pixie via the Flint Lock, which, as has previously been explained, is weapons, armor, and various survival sundries, and Hazel has yet to explain why.
I'm just looking really, really confused at Hazel, but following.
You just want to look at armor prices.
What is it with
I
you and armor?
know. I just want to look. I
That's
just want
fair.
to look.
Okay, but what?
Yeah, the armor prices for, is she looking for full plate?
I'm going to look at full plate, but then go down to something like just a breastplate.
Okay, the full plate, you're getting into some fairly significant platinum prices, which makes the work done on the armor Remy's currently wearing, puts it really into perspective. A simple breastplate and greaves, you're looking at something to the order of 10 platinum for something basic, and you're gonna have to spend a good little while and probably make a very good investigation check to find something that's not just armor.
Okay, after this job, this is where I'm gonna definitely checking things out. We can go now.
How much teeth do you think you're gonna? Okay.
Maybe she's looking at more than one snake.
Fair enough. Okay.
You done, Hazel?
Apparently Hazel
Yeah,
is done.
that-
Yes, so
Okay.
We can just head on to the Pixie now.
Okay.
Okay.
to give our newest of newcomers the impression of what the Tipsy Pixie looks like.
Mhm.
As soon as it actually zones in, yeah. Behold the Tipsy Pixie. Scroll out a little bit. There we go. It's a much more opulent and ornate kind of place. The floor it's still stone, but it's colored stone that's been actually arranged in patterns so that it actually looks quite impressive. The tables are nice. The food smells way better. They don't seem to be serving ale at all. This is mostly wines and liqueurs and mixed drinks and that kind of thing. You're getting on towards the afternoon, and the place it's a more quiet and subdued location than anything you'd find in the Quiver. Mostly it seems to be philosophers, artists, occasional relatively well-to-do business person, and the serving stuff, apart from the incredibly large, gray, hairless gentleman standing at the back bar, apparently cooking things, are some of the most attractive people you have seen in quite some time. And they are not wearing that much in the way of clothing.
I probably know what they are.
You've heard about this place. You know what it is, and you get the impression that the serving staff is sort of a preview of the alternative menu. Hazel seems to be mostly looking at a painfully attractive, dark-skinned woman with very long black hair and sort of diaphanous clothing standing at the bar over in this general direction.
Hazel, you go.
Mm.
No, you don't. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
And Frosa's like, I'll arrange something. Use Remy and now Ava's room. while I get things sorted out.
Okay.
There's a lot of discussion to be had, and you may as well get started
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
I'm actually the
Sure.
least complicated, mostly. And then walks over to the bar.
Actually, yeah, he's not wrong.
He's not entirely right.
Really anything as? Is there really such a thing as a non-complicated person?
Yeah.
Remy.
Yes,
Yes.
there is a such thing.
Yeah.
She's at home and she's a gossipy little bitch.
No. That's simple, not uncomplicated. There's a
Yeah, I think you're
difference.
mixing the two concepts there.
While this conversation is happening, you park yourselves in. Again, it's a there's a certain Arabian Nights kind of feel to it. It's a lot of cushion and
Little Oriental feel.
an elaborately woven carpet and a sort of canopy kind of deal on the beds, but the opulence of it is reminiscent on some scale of what you lost.
See, like I said, different custom, different style, but it feels close.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
It's still really fancy.
It's not fancy. That's not right.
You've
it's
not
just-
seen fancy, trust me.
It's lush. That's the word.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. So,
So, where do we
I guess.
start? Well, okay, Star Coast. Well, Seth gave you a little bit. Basically, we all met the day after, or was it the day of?
Day before, actually, because remember you stayed in the Undercity first.
No.
Oh.
We all met at the bar the
Yes.
day after I found out I was a
Oh,
bard.
yes.
So yeah, it's like our tale of the tale of the Cupcake Coterie. That's what we
No.
call ourselves. It's the thing. I'll get to that in a minute. That's part of the story. That actually is part of the story.
Sorry, go on.
Well, okay, you know the piecemeal.
You
Did
actually
you
don't
really
know.
know that?
You actually don't know the piecemeal. You're a predominantly Cedar Grove noble, and you weren't as adventurous as Darvin used to be. So you didn't get out to the seedier sides of the Star Coast capital, like, at all.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, it was in okay. Eric was there, and Francine. Francine ran the piecemeal. Eric was the cook, and he made these cupcakes, and they were.
Do I know these two?
No.
Probably not.
No, you wouldn't have known. If you'd never been to the
Right.
piecemeal, you wouldn't have known them.
Okay.
Trust me. If you'd never been, you'd know. You remember them.
all right. Take it away.
Eric unfortunately didn't make it. Francine did. I don't know where she ended up, but Eric, these cupcakes
Actually, yes,
were.
you do. She took over the Frowning Trout.
That's right. I didn't remember knowing that. But the cupcakes were all but magical. And when we met and went there in the middle of a whole lot of stuff, he made a batch for each of us. And it was sort of a bonding moment. And so
Hence
that's
the name.
basically. That was back when Remy wasn't with us then, neither was Nye. It was Froseth, myself, Hazel, Clarity, our friend who stayed behind in Belarus, and Nora. She's no longer with us in every sense of that phrase.
Oh.
But we met at the Frowning Trout, and the day after I found out I was a bard. It's literally been not that long. There were feathers involved. The Baron kicked me out. It was a weird day. We went back to try to get me my payment, and that's when we found out that there were things going on. Had been for a while. People were getting taken and coming back, changed, not acting like themselves. We ended up hiding out in the Undercity. We met
Mira.
Mira. There, sorry, Mira, and Petunia, her companion, and we got into the manor and God, Hazel, can you fill in some of this because this is getting to the hard part for me. One of the hard parts.
Oh boy,
My mom.
the whole debacle in town.
Yeah, and what happened at the manor with.
Do you want me to have Froseth come back and save y'all from this?
That would be glorious.
Well,
It turned out that the Baron of Starcoast was in some sort of pact with what we just thought was a blonde woman with a great deal of magic. Turned out to not be, but we're getting to that. They were doing a ritual to sum it up. Baronsveer as a country, I don't know if you're aware of this being part of the nobility, but Darvin didn't, so each of the baronies of Baronsveer have a heart, a nexus of magic that reflects and makes what they are.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Would I know that?
No.
No, I wouldn't. Okay.
What this woman was trying to do was taint the heart of the barony, give it to something that's not just an evil god, not just an eldritch abomination from another plane, but something more eldritch than eldritch, something outside the planes.
Could
A
call it primordial.
It's a universe devourer. It's a meme of chaos and oblivion. It's very impossible to describe. It turned out, once we disrupted the ritual, the heart got tainted in the end, and we tried to cleanse it, but it didn't work, and the heart was destroyed. That's why no one's in the barony anymore. When the heart died, so did the barony, and now it's no longer a barony, it's just land.
Oh.
Land with no heart anymore.
And in the process of that, when we disrupted the ritual, it released the fog. And unfortunately, the spot that the fog was released from was quite literally on the table in front of my mother.
And
who was being held captive.
Froseth just, ow, kind of look.
Not your fault. Not your fault.
When you
What
say
happened?
the ritual turned the nearly dead body of Mira, who Darvin just mentioned, into a gibbering mouther. We fought it. It seemed they wanted it to die inside the circle. I kicked it out. Unfortunately, it was either kick it towards the rest of us or in the opposite direction, and it came too close to all of the bystanders. You can hear in Froseth's voice that it's not your mother is the one he has a name for, but there's a lot of other lives that he's still grieving over at that point. In any case, we were fortunate in our allies. Looks at Hazel a bit. We got some protection from what the fog did, because the fog didn't just kill people, it changed them. We saw things in there that shouldn't exist. There were regular undead, but there were creatures being taken over by barnacles and rot. There was this.
A bird made of blasphemy.
By blasphemy, she means black. Basically, the physical incarnation of the physical fingerprints of this universe-conquering meme thing. It's this black tarry substance that smells like eldritch honey and wrong. But we saw a bird-looking creature about the size of a small dragon made of it. We saw a person made of it, and I think it's only because of Flitty that we managed to get away from that unscathed.
And that was the thing that we got out, but then of course we couldn't leave it because there might have been survivors. It might have spread, so we had to try to go back. Eventually, we did. We regrouped at Hearthhome, got ourselves together, went back. That's when we
encountered the bird made of blasphemy, the person made of blasphemy.
Yeah.
Horrible ocean stuff gone wrong.
That's when I found out. That's when I found out what happened to my mother, and that was dealt with.
As was the creature with the tentacles in its face and the wings.
The thing around the heart, yeah.
Yeah.
That
we
was,
found the heart. It was inside that thing.
It was huge. It had wings. It was like,
and it still flew.
Yeah, it had wings that didn't make sense, and it still flew.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus, it had the whole tentacles on its face.
Yeah, what is it with tentacles in this thing anyway?
And it was huge. It broke the entire back of the manor.
Wow.
In any case, this gets worse. By the way, just brace yourself now. The blonde woman turns out to be Tiamat.
Wait.
Actually, to be fair, make me a religion check to see if you know that. Sorry, my fault. I should have called you on it sooner.
No.
The dragon gods are not as well known in your country.
7.
Yeah, and even you've heard tell you've heard tell since you got to Equitas about Bahamut, who's the god of justice and the metallic dragons. But you've heard of you have heard of another dragon god, but that god is never named. It's that whole he who shall not be named thing.
Mm-hmm.
So. And Froseth does fill in with that. If you've heard of Bahamut, that's Tiamat is Bahamut's opposite number, the dark goddess of chromatic dragons. She is working with the king of Baronsvere, who happens to be a black dragon. We don't know how old he is. To obtain the hearts of the baronies and corrupt them properly, the way they were trying to do with Starcoast. What Tiamat seems to be trying to do is to harness power from the tainting, somehow get around or past this thing that's beyond the black, beyond the stars, and use it to her own purposes. Tiamat doesn't like us very much. And we need to do this quickly for a number of reasons. But in the end, our goal, and I get the feeling that you at least suspect that your goals are aligned with ours, is to kill the black dragon that is currently ruling Baronsvir and put the rightful king, or his successor, who we suspect actually
Think
works
you
here,
found here.
Your
back.
suspicion about killing that black
Yeah,
thing is correct.
That about sums it up. I mean, from there, we still need to deal with, because there's another player in this, at least one, and the one thing we can't do is let this cosmic
Continue.
abomination get more of a toehold on this plane than it already has. The elements are screaming at me about this. Nye's patrons are equally upset about the situation, and given that they're archfey, that's a problem. And looks at Nye. I'm sorry, but we need to have our cards on the table here. We weren't with Alice, and look what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I look at Darvin. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Lady Esbeth was a good woman.
Yeah.
My turn, I guess. Well, as you already know, my household was burned to the ground 3 years ago. It came out of nowhere. I only escaped because one of my maids distracted the guards long enough, the enemy long enough for me to slip out.
Actually, that's news to Darvin. He'd always heard it was an accident.
It was deliberate. I'd never heard that. I thought it was an accident. I thought.
No, it was not.
I suppose. I mean, yeah. I guess it kind of stood to reason, considering I asked you if it was involved. So yeah. Why you though? Why your family?
Darvin, make me a wisdom check.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, no, history check.
Not my strong suit. I don't think I have a.
Oh boy!
Slightly.
Jack of all trades, yay.
12.
It's enough, given where you come from.
Mm-hmm.
You vaguely recall, now that you're thinking about it, her family was less royal family yay than others. I mean, they weren't disrespectful exactly, but they weren't a huge supporter. The ones that took over the lands that remained, that from the family that died, were very supportive of the royal family, of King Jain Nerrand III.
And now, as I ask the question, things are starting to fall into place. Removing opposition. Damn. I am so sorry. I mean, it's not like I could have done anything about it, but well, we can do something about it now.
That's the plan.
Yeah, by putting something pointy into the dragon asshole's face.
That's the plan too.
I mean, I would think you'd want to aim a little lower to make sure it's dead, but okay, that works too. Thinking more the heart, but you know.
Its brain is behind its face. I know sometimes you act like you don't have one, but you still need one to live.
Yeah, I just need to use mine a bit more often.
Want his eyeballs.
Yes, but
You know, I'm not gonna ask.
and Flitty turns to Hazel. No, see, brain is behind eyeball. You can live without an eye, but you have to dig far enough in for brain.
Yeah, no,
Mommy lady taught me that.
Wow.
Scritch for the fairy dragon.
And I don't know about anybody else, but IoT am at big time. We're taking out this black dragon, yeah, but if I'm not planning on stopping there.
You do realize Tiamat is a god, right?
Oh yeah, I didn't say it'd be easy.
I mean, I'm amazed you even survived that. If she's as bad as you making a sound.
And Froseth looks at Darvin and says it for him just because of the look on his face. Nora didn't.
Oh,
She was carrying a sword of great importance, which we need to get back, by the way.
The reason why we have to stab the great black asshole in the face.
No, that's just
No.
a side effect.
Mm-hmm.
Tiamat came on to Nora while she was outside of the fog. We were inside scouting things out.
oh.
She is a very powerful magic user. Let's just put it that way. She left us, Nora left us with some of us with some protections, but well, we'll have to see about Remy and I guess now you, because we don't know
Mm-hmm.
where we're going to end up next and what kind of taint will be in our way. There's also the warning I got the other day.
Yes.
There's more than
Warning?
just there's. You might have noticed from the clothes. I'm a monk. I follow the way of the four elements. Apparently, this is very rare, but the elements tell me things, show me things. I can bring on some of it if I try hard enough, but mostly just tells me things when they think it's important. Tiamat was not very happy when we took something from her at the request of one of Nye's patrons. And she intends to make us pay for that. She's clever enough to know that the best way of getting to most of us is through our family. And while we said that Hazel was adopted, what we didn't mention was that her parents, just to let you know, Rand Hearthheart from that ballad that I'm pretty sure you've heard, is actually a woman named Miranda. It's a not commonly known thing, and they like to try to keep it that way. But they've also adopt children. They've got 10.
And that's not including Andrea and Khan.
Yes, because they're not living there, and they're not children. When I say children, we're talking about the oldest of them is 15. The youngest is 4, and was one of the 2 children we brought out of Star Coast alive. One of them, because she's fond of me, wants to be a paladin of Bahamut when she grows up, and that marks her in Tiamat's eyes. She is the main one to be threatened, and
Yep.
there's a plan in place. We don't know what it is. We've sent them We've sent them at Hearthhome a warning, but even with the people they have at their disposal, we're talking about a king and his armies.
And a green dragon, minimum.
And we don't know who that green dragon is. We know that Baronsveer seems to have a couple of dragons in hiding.
Yeah, obviously, for reasons, family is vitally important. And with it, we've given you the nutshell version of what all is going on, but every single one of us is tied into this in a visceral way. Froseth, I don't know how much of your background you want to get into, but
Right now, I think we probably want to stick to the bare bones and let the heart-shredding emotional situations wait until campfires and...
yeah.
Right
fair
now,
enough.
I'm just trying to make sure that we give her the warnings we didn't give Alice.
Alice, right. I think that, and
idea.
I don't. I think that covers every. Um.
What?
Just
I
so
know
it,
it, but what?
yeah, just so it doesn't shock later. I kind of screwed up, and
Yeah.
Ah,
I cheesed off the wrong person, wrong individual, and
Again.
so yeah. Well, no, this time with much bigger consequences.
Oh god.
This time, so at this point, once a day for a while. I'm not sure exactly how long.
I think
I
it's
turn into a
random.
yeah. That's well a random length of time. I'm assuming there's some sort of a range. It's less than a day, but because it's got to happen once a day.
You're hoping
All I know is that once per day I turn into a bunny.
She just
Silent
starts
image.
laughing.
And
just
yeah,
starts
this guy just cast silent image of the lop that you saw out the window.
The other one was Hazel, but that was just a one-time thing. Mine's ongoing. Yeah,
He's stuck
Yeah,
with
so
he's
he's
stuck
going
with
to be
I'm
wrapped.
sorry, I'm sorry.
he's stuck with that until he proves himself to the satisfaction of the governor of this particular province, because
and I have no idea what that even means. As far as I know, I'm just operating under the assumption it is.
I'm going to take a guess that it will involve killing either the green or the black.
But don't clerics have like magic that removes curse?
If
Doesn't that
if
work?
if she
that?
if she tries that, he turns into a cockroach permanently.
Yeah,
Oh.
we've been warned not to try that.
Yep.
Oh.
Also,
So that's a
Yeah.
no.
also we can't just hit him to make him change back, because
I'll die.
once he's a rabbit, he's actually a rabbit.
Oh, so it's different
Wait.
than polymorph.
Yeah,
Wait,
I'm
we
dead.
can't. Wait. I know she said we can't him to change him back, but does that mean if it's in the middle of combat and something else hits him?
I'm
Yep.
dead.
He's still gonna die.
Yeah. So if I turn into a rabbit in a combat situation, you guys are on your own. I'm gonna burrow into the ground as quickly as I can and just stay there.
Yeah,
Good luck.
That's a good idea.
Seems wise
Yep.
to me.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
But
I'm going
why
to be
was
praying
Hazel the rabbit
Taylor
then?
more spells to block
Hazel-
It's
things.
partially Hazel's fault.
No, that was
Or was that the time before?
yep. I'll tell that one very briefly. Hazel offended some pixies
Oh.
and blamed Darvin. The governor here had actually no. This was the governor of the province up north, up here, Zet, I believe. Has a very strong sense of justice, and insisted that Hazel suffer the consequences that Darvin had to suffer, even though he wasn't the one who actually did the offending. So she was under a regular polymorph spell
Oh.
at the time. That's why two
It was
rabbits.
fair and it made sense.
Silent image, both bunnies.
So
I just
what
hope
do
the
we do
bunny
now?
thing at least gets out of the way and during breakfast time.
Now I think we relax, enjoy our last night of comfort for a while. Oh, before we do that, maybe Nye should explain his patrons.
Yeah, because I thought clerics only had one.
No,
Insofar
Warlocks.
as I
Oh,
can
warlock,
explain,
sorry.
insofar as I can explain my patrons, this feeds into something else we figured out. You've heard us talking about Clarity, the rogue who used to travel with us.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I know very little about myself. I remember being trapped in some sort of just silent image, total darkness.
Oh.
And something came to me and said if I were to swear fealty to his king and queen, I would be released and get power. I took the offer, and they then I traveled with a mercenary company for a while, and then met up with this group, and it turns out that probably something very similar happened to Clarity's brother.
Oh.
And someone remind me which way around this goes. Basically, they were this whole evil eldritch black tar stuff.
That's what took you.
They thought that it would be useful to have sort of a dissenter. I don't know the word in English. Somebody with an empty mind to have it controlling someone, basically.
Also, to understand how human minds work, to be able to better deal with them.
Right. Something took Clarity's brother, and I don't remember. One of them was Tiamat, I believe.
It was Clarity's brother, because Tiamat thought it was... Basically, it was another player. It was another player who took Nye.
And Tiamat said, "Oh, what a good idea."
And took Clarity's brother, Henry.
So once we kind of got this figured out, Clarity, looking hard at Darvin here, booked it to the nearest library. And we basically, I don't want to say really that we left her there to figure things out, but she decided to stay there to figure things out.
She's doing our book research while we stab magic and punch things.
Meanwhile, I've had more than one conversation with my patrons. Yes. Meanwhile, I've had more than one conversation with my patrons, but the one thing they really came down, or rather the Queen came down and asked me to do, was retrieve a pendant from a place we happened to be in anyway, which happened to be a temple to Tiamat.
Oh, I see.
We didn't think to ask where they were sending us.
Yeah.
And we didn't think to look at the...
got them mad with you.
Tiamat's mad at us anyway, but that's what got them mad. That's what got her mad at our barbarian friend.
Alice.
Thank you. We just didn't put the two and two together about the design of the temple, which we knew, and taking something out of there.
We also didn't mention that when we skinned the Umber Hulk, things started waking up down there.
Oh yeah, did we ever mention to anyone to stop sending training missions there?
No.
We need to do that.
Yeah, we need to do that.
I will do that. They're probably minded to listen to me, and I can also ask politely if we can...
Thank you,
I was about to ask which of us was in their least bad graces.
I am, for obvious reasons, and I can ask whether... You know the question I need to ask. Looking very hard at Darvin.
I'm getting up, I'm walking around to Proseth, and I'm hugging him.
Pat.
Thank you. I let go.
Just save me some dinner. And...
Oh yeah, definitely.
And he heads off to converse, and yes, he's going to ask if they can tell an actual new member of their party who the governors really are. You're muted.
Because I'm not saying a damn word.
Meanwhile, Flitty is trying to apparently cheer Ava up by doing this little fairy dragon tap dance on one of the nearby tables. Kind of looks like the Snoopy dance.
Oh, good lord!
What is he doing?
I'm dancing.
It's a dance. It's a happy dance. It's a happy dragon dance.
She's laughing.
Adorable.
She's laughing, so that's good.
Away so I don't break anything and try to imitate the dance.
Give me a dex check.
In this room,
Yeah, I backed away so I wouldn't break shit.
I still want dex
I'm more
check.
worried about getting hit or stepped on.
13.
She
Uh-oh.
looks kind of like a drowning duck, but she's not breaking anything.
For a 13, that's a difficult dance.
Well, it's also trying not to kick over. Basically, this was to not kick over carpets. Or trip over carpets.
I'm almost tempted to be like, what do I need to build a dodge to avoid getting stepped on?
No, you can curl up on a corner of the bed and be out of the way.
I don't think
Okay,
you need to worry about being stepped on until the next time you're a bunny anyway.
that's true. Fair enough.
Out of character hands.
Oh, I'm taking that completely in character, but okay. Because I'm like obviously curled up trying to make. Okay, try not to get stepped on.
Flitty stops dancing. She's smiling, so I don't care.
Thank you, Flitty.
Yeah, thank you, Flitty.
You can tell her I understand a little bit of common, but I can't speak it because it makes my mouth hurt. But I like her.
Flitty likes you. Flitty can understand some common, just can't really speak it because mouth doesn't
Oh,
fit.
okay. Okay.
So, um,
Well, I'll have to learn Sylvan then to try and.
well, Hazel knows Sylvan. Flitty can speak Sylvan and Draconic, and obviously, Froseth knows that. I've got, and I'm pointing at the helm. I've got this, so that's why I can understand.
That's handy.
He's got the hat of languages.
Very useful.
So, mm-hmm.
Did you tell her about the weapons?
Oh,
The weapons?
Did I understand that one?
Yes, because Froseth's no longer here. Flitty is
Yeah.
talking in
Open
Sylvan.
bag.
Flitty's
Producing
not
the
taking over the
hammer.
role of.
She's got
jeez.
a massive two-handed warhammer. Clerics aren't
Oh, God.
supposed to use those.
Careful!
Like it's halfway between a normal warhammer and a maul, so it's enormous.
What is that?
That is Hazel's.
Setting it head down on the floor.
Thunk!
Yeah, if she does that, there is that, because remember that's the thunder hammer. So boom.
Oh no.
No, just a quiet little boom.
See?
That looks powerful and dangerous.
Uh-huh.
Hammers usually are.
Yeah, well, and I'll motion to the rapier.
Yeah, he is wearing a rapier that most of the nobility of Baronsvere would have sold
Right.
everything they owned to possess.
Whoa.
Yeah, well, okay. You know Goldendale, obviously.
I
You-
think I do.
Yeah, it's basically that dinky little one-horse town that is basically the only group habitation in the barony of the same name, which is mostly farm.
Well, okay, the entirety of the quick flight diminutives, the ones that were,
Not all of them. One of them tends Bar and Bellerais.
pretty much all but one, all of them migrated there.
Including Jenna.
This
Who
one
is
doesn't know.
Steel
Jenna
Singer of Bellerais.
And
Make
Jenna-
me a history check, Ava.
Jenna is
Sec. History.
Like- I'm trying to think of how to put it. Oh, there you go, not 20.
Ooh,
That's
I can't see. I
one.
can't see.
Okay, in which case,
Uh-huh.
you were probably interested in, the adventuring life when you were very
Bless
small, but unlike bless you, but unlike Darvin, you didn't act on it because you were supposed to be the lady and you were being prepared for,
Other things.
politically advantageous marriages and that kind of crap. But you spent a lot of time reading about it, and in some dusty old book at the way back of your library, you found a treatise on basically epic weapons. They were supposed to be the true epic weapons were supposed to be made by individuals called steel singers. Apparently, they were clerics with no specific god. The forge was their god. And they could create things that went far beyond any arcane smith could create. The most recent steel singer, the first to come along in a couple of 100 years, was supposed to be a Genendel Bree, who was apparently from the country to the west, which is what the Baronsveer folk call Equitas most of the time. And she disappeared some 40 years ago. Maybe less, 30, 40 years ago. And hadn't been seen or heard from since, but her weapons command obscene prices the few places they remain. And now that you're thinking about it, you're remembering the sketches, you're looking at the rapier, you're looking at the hammer, the two sickle-looking things that Froseth was carrying, the sword and armor that Remy wears, all of those, they are basically covered in steel singer weaponry, the most rare and precious weapons and armor on the planet.
Where did you get all that?
And then you remember Hazel saying that the entire, including Genendel Bree.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it.
And because Jenna is Jenna, well, she just flat out gave Darvin that thing.
No, 15
No.
gold. Outright gave Remy the armor.
Yeah.
Well, outright. Darvin, I would say gave, but we kind of gave her gold anyway, so we basically paid
there
for
was
it.
a cost. There was, I mean, it was all but.
Yeah,
All
I know. But
not
and
given.
then I brought her this thing and its previous incarnation, which was just an overly shiny display piece that some twit in the noble manor was using.
He says to the noble.
It's fine. It's fine.
You know the kind of twits I'm talking about. People who get
Oh,
all this
yeah,
stuff and don't
I've
ever
encountered
actually
some-
learn to use it.
Mhm.
Anyway, I brought this back. Jenna took one look at it, grabbed it, and just took it in the back and started doing things to it. Next thing we know, it's this thing.
Wow.
I turned a ghast into a pancake with it.
Darvin still remembers being splattered with the gas brain.
Yeah,
and then
that
he threw some at, and then he threw what was left, and then he threw.
because you. Yeah.
Flitty is going, can you
I
maybe
actually
not
had
talk about the gross stuff before dinner? Don't want to spoil your dinner. You don't want to spoil my dinner.
I was about to say, I'm.
All in all, we got really lucky
Mm.
where we're from,
Yeah,
I can
but
see that.
and
and back in the back it goes.
we've been relying on luck far too much.
Okay, I think it's food time.
Yeah.
It is definitely food time. And I am outdoor and back down towards food.
The Tipsy Pixie handles things a little bit differently than the Bullseye did. The Tipsy Pixie has a food bar at the back, which is manned by the very tall, hairless, gray-skinned dude. And drink bars on either side, one manned by the dark-skinned, dark-haired woman that Hazel seems to be eyeing, and one by this blonde Amazon of a woman. We're talking Valkyrie, hair in a complicated braided updo, and actually more solid clothing than the other. She doesn't seem to feel the need to put on display. But the times you do see flash of leg. There's muscle there, seriously, and it's like Ava probably can't quite help but thinking, okay, so if that's what just the lady of the evening looked like, I wonder what the barbarian looked like. So yeah, you're downstairs. I'm assuming Hazel's beelining for drinks.
Oh yes, yes. You know exactly where I'm going.
That's not going to end well.
Kezia is just hello to you. Your
I-
dragonborn friend has made arrangements for a date this evening, so you will have to let me know when you are done with new companion and whatever conversations that you need to have, so that I understand it is going to be last night for a while. So I have some potentially special things prepared.
God, I can hear the squeeing from here. Did my ears just pop?
Like I went past bright red to like luminescent,
I am
possibly magically emitting glow too.
Oh my God! If we can get her to do that on cue, we won't need torches.
She brings out a bottle of a white wine. This will go well with dinner for this evening.
You are amazing. Lean smooch.
Leans up to Hazel. Not so much of that when on the proper floor. That sort of thing is safer upstairs.
Zoom.
You forgot the wine.
Zoom.
Meanwhile, I'm
Zoom.
glancing at this from distance, and I'm like, she seems very
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. Hazel is very Hazel.
I can see that.
And this is without the boots of haste still.
Meanwhile, whoever is going for food is informed. Basically, the entire back row is covered in pots of. Just all the burners in the back are covered with pots of boiling water, big pots of boiling water. Dinner is apparently sand crab. They're the approximate size of they're about that big, the body. So it takes a lot of pot to boil them. So
Oh, good God, it's a clam bake.
yeah, each of you guys end up with this crab the size of your head,
Whoa.
and
What?
various sides and sundries.
How okay. Had to make sure my cat hadn't sat on the mute button. Have I had crab before?
Had we? Yeah, have we?
Yeah,
had it?
well,
I'm
given
not sure that those were...
Darvin probably has, although his are obviously water crabs. Ava also probably has because that sort of thing can be imported relatively easily if you've got the money.
Right.
Remy lived in Belarus, which is also coastal, so she's had them. Hazel and I, not so much.
Okay. So I didn't. Oh, so okay.
Right.
This is my first experience with one of these not water-based. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I've had the water kind of when I was younger, but I don't think I've tried these.
Yeah, this is going to be an
How do you-
experience.
Yeah, you have
things you
you
have
have
in
the
there.
crackers for.
Oh, this is familiar. Yeah, this is going to be fun.
How do you this?
We'll show you when we show.
Hazel, watch.
Like this. No, not like that. Like this.
Oh, well,
There you
yeah,
go.
okay.
No, I was actually saying.
For Hazel. You were saying for Hazel. You were doing it
Oh.
right, but Hazel was probably being Hazel.
Less flat, like slower, smaller movements. Make sure you got a good grip on it first. You don't want to have it slip because you'll smush your fingers. I say from
Like the hammer.
personal experience. I wasn't referencing that. I was referencing when the first time I tried these, I got my fingers. That's not comfortable.
You were 6, so that makes.
Well-
it's gonna happen.
Yeah, well.
Hazel crunch. Hazel smash.
Yeah, you.
Oh god, he's destroying that poor crab. She destroying that poor crab. How does it compare?
What
Is
is the
it like very different? The same?
They actually taste sweeter, less salt, more seafood
Mhm.
sweet, you know?
Mm.
Yep. This is really good. This is
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
good.
sure
It's
if I like
different.
them better or worse. I'm not sure. But it's good. Very good.
Yeah, but the wine complements well, and this is probably one of the better meals that Ava's had in a while because mostly it's in stew, which can be good, but not this kind of good.
Yeah, it's like it's serviceable.
Yeah. Well, no, she's been to a couple of inns where even the stew was phenomenal. But she's also been to
Whereas it
inns
was
where,
crappy.
yeah, where it was mostly cabbage.
Uh,
Was it
Hey.
the blind harpy?
Oh
Yeah,
God.
you have actually been to the Blind Harpy, where the stew
oh, that
is
place! Ugh.
the stew is mostly cabbage flavored with a little bit of mutton. The one ale you can get there is normally referred to by the general population as piss water, and it has earned its name. The beds are full of bugs.
Ugh.
Though
Yeah.
it didn't bother for us
The night we went there.
Furseth, who is managing his crab quite well, actually, just sort of goes, "Yeah, that's because has an issue they have an issue biting through scales. I did, however, get a rat poison itself on the contents of my medicine kit.
Ugh.
Oh, that's right. I
place
forgot about
is-
that poor little mouse.
That,
Oh,
that place is disgusting.
Rat. It was not a mouse.
Rat.
It was a rat." And
Oh.
Flitty perks up with, "And I killed one. It was going for the Remy lady's bag, and I didn't want it to do that, so I jumped on it."
And we were all very quite proud.
Hand over to Flitty and Scritching.
We were all quite proud of you. You were very brave, and I'm not kidding.
I'm more proud of me about the black tar man.
That was truly amazing. Yes.
Yeah, Flitty spends the meal sort of ambling around and sharing people's dinner by nomfing anything anyone happens to offer through until he's relatively full.
I give her a little piece.
Everybody gets
Him.
that wrong, but it's because of the name. The name is a very
Yeah.
feminine sounding name, but no, Flitty is a he. And yeah.
So I guess we're hunting snake tomorrow. Or gelatinous cubes, whichever comes first.
Yeah, from
Hopefully not both at once.
from the looks
Hopefully, no.
from the looks of the bit of paper that Hazel has handed out, though, it looks like you have a several days journey.
Yeah, how do we have how long do we have to complete the...
It doesn't seem to have any time limit on it. They want the fangs. They're not saying, how long.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like it's just they want them.
Whenever
We
we
have
can
them
get them.
show up. So
Right.
it gives a basic location.
Yeah, it's about 3 days travel, but from what you've been able to tell from your water skins of holding, as it were, you've still got enough for at least a week each. Actually, the other thing that Alice left behind was her other one because she wasn't going to need it as badly. So you still have the 2 water skins of holding.
Yeah, we do have a fair bit of gear for getting out there. I don't.
We got the basket with the food. We got.
Do you have transportation?
There's
And
not
what-
that much in the way of transport you can reliably keep in a desert is the problem. Watering horses and things.
Oh, it's a desert. Right.
Yeah, we've got feet.
I'm looking in the bag trying to find the preserves.
I may not be big on feet of
You're
strength.
running fairly low on the preserves as it happens. Remember, you gave half of them to the drow.
Yep. I may not be big on feats of strength, but I have strength of feet.
Darvin!
What?
Look! I'm holding out the jar of preserves.
Oh dear. Oh.
There's only
What's
about
that?
a quarter of it left.
Oh,
It looks like
dear.
apple cranberry preserves.
What is that?
That is one of Hazel's favorite things in the world. I
Popping
don't.
the jar and offering it to sniff.
No thanks.
I don't think it's going to be probably quite a while before we can replenish that, Hazel.
Still offering the jar to just take to Ava.
No, I'm fine, thank you.
She's not gonna stop. God, there you go.
I'm just blocking the jar with my hand.
Hazel.
You
Second
did
back.
actually get
Stop.
a whiff of apple cranberry and a little bit of cinnamon. It smells quite nice.
Smells very nice.
The lady said no, Hazel.
It's back in bag.
It's alright, it's fine. So, feet it is then.
Sorry, what?
So feet it is then.
Yes.
Yep.
So, should we set it dawn, or how do you want to do this?
Well,
That's my line.
I mean, we definitely don't want to be traveling at the hottest part of the day.
That's true.
Well, you're still remember you're still in winter, so the hottest part of the day isn't that bad.
That's true.
The last time you started at around dawn, and
That's true.
Alice actually recommended daylight trekking at this time of year because some of the nastier shit comes out at night.
That's very true. I'm assuming that was all Froseth right there, because that actually would have been perfect if it was. Yeah, good point. So yeah, let's go ahead. We'll head out at dawn. Hopefully,
Alright.
hopefully I don't bunny. Hopefully I bunny early and get it out of the way before anything wants to eat us.
Well, hopefully it happens before we run into either snake or cube.
Yeah. Anyway, right. So okay, yeah. So I guess we head out at dawn. I mean, we know where we're going, don't we?
Yes,
More
but
or less, I think.
you remember you're aiming for a basic set of map coordinates, so you know approximately where you're going.
Okay. So we know where we're going. We need to probably run through our gear that we have on hand, respectively.
Right. That's true. I didn't show my long.
Just to make sure we do have everything.
My
Yeah,
long
that we
bow.
need.
looks like now you are seeing, despite the fact that she's been wearing a sword across her back, she seems to be more interested in the condition of her longbow than the condition of her sword.
Yeah, I'm checking the string.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, been pretty handy. Does he see the emblem on the sword? Because it would have.
He
would it have an emblem?
probably recognizes the old your old family sword.
Mm-hmm.
And he probably, given Darvin being Darvin, he likely knows that she's wearing it for the same reason he's wearing a symbol of Palor on the head of his viol.
Yep. Hmm. Yeah, I see the sword and I just nod and kind of motion a little at the top of the viol you can see sticking out with the. Yeah.
You do get Flitty hopping up and down in front of Darvin, apparently trying to get his attention. Point. You remember?
I think she was.
Remember
she was
the drow lady? And she had those arrows and they didn't break? Do you think they have something like that here for the Ava lady? At the very least, she should get more arrows because if arrows break, it's a thing. And
That's a
she
very
should
good
get
point.
a lot of arrows.
Yes.
Arrows that don't break.
You will assume someone translated that from the Silver.
Me.
Okay. That's a very good point. They were. Did she ever say what kind? Like what specific kind they were? I don't remember.
No, she just said that her people
They just didn't break.
made them.
Well, at the very least, we can go to on the way out. We can stop by the Flintlock and see what they might have available.
If you're
Oh,
leaving
wow.
at dawn,
Oh, right.
We probably should go now, if anything.
Oh, how late is it? Are we? Is it
It's
getting about that time?
the sun is it's getting on to it's sunset getting on to twilight, but the shops stay open fairly late so that people aren't shopping.
Hmm.
Yeah. Even in wintertime, it can get a little bit hot to be shopping in the middle of the day.
Fair enough. Tell you what, let's eat quick.
Yeah, you're
and
about
then,
finished by now, I would have
Right.
said.
So let's go ahead and run over to the flintlock real quick. See what we can find by the way of
Yeah,
in the
sure.
way of arrows, magical or otherwise.
Yeah,
And
because Hazel
do
still
that.
has the crossbow bolts.
I actually pull one out. Look at this.
It's
Whoa.
kind of crackling with electricity, very very faintly.
Yeah, but that's not going to work with my bow, though, is it?
nope.
No.
That's why we're
Unfortunately,
going.
this is crossbow stuff, but we could probably find similar.
Yeah,
Hmm.
or ice, or I think ice would probably do. I mean, we're in the desert, so I don't
Right.
think things get much ice on them, so they might not like it
No,
a
that's
bit more.
possible.
I don't know.
They didn't
Possible.
have they didn't have a great time with Alice's axe, but they didn't have a particularly bad time with it either.
Hmm.
Says
Hmm.
Frosto. At the
Okay,
very
I
least,
just-
they're not resistant to it, as far as I can tell. Things that are
Come on,
resistant
Garnet,
to
try.
everything.
So yeah, we can. We'll go to the flintlock and see what we can find.
Okay.
Works.
For once, we're in a place that the stuff isn't resistant to Froseth yelling or belching or whatever it is you do to them.
Pat.
Belching.
Pat. Pat.
Belching, really? Belching?
I don't know what he does.
Breathing.
Breathing.
Call
It's called
it.
dragon
Sorry
breath.
for us, Seth. Didn't mean to talk over you there. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I think her siblings were a bit better about the questions. I seem to remember, what do you breathe that isn't air?
I forgot. Yes.
Huh?
The first time I went to the market with Hazel's younger adopted siblings, they had never seen a dragonborn, silver or otherwise, to any
Mhm.
great degree before. They had a lot of questions,
And it was
one of
adorable.
them was that they understood that dragons breathe fire, but I didn't seem to breathe fire, but what do they breathe?
Mhm.
What did I breathe? It wasn't air. It was easier to show them, so I leaned out the back of the wagon and frost breathed the road.
The sheer screams and shrieks of delight. I don't think I'll ever forget that sound. That
When
was
you-
amazing.
And I have not seen her face do that ever.
It was wonderful. It was worth it. It was worth it. Prasad, I kind of felt bad they put you on the spot, but oh my god, it was worth it.
Oh.
Their reaction was amazing.
I don't know how he made Edwina's face do that.
I spoke to her in Dwarven.
Oh yeah, that.
You speak Dwarvish?
My monastery is up north. We had trade with Cragveer, and I learned there. Cragveer,
Oh.
by the way, you would have heard of. It's the largely dwarvish, largely underground city north of the country of Baronsveer. Largely underground because the above ground sections of Cragveer are largely inhospitable, snowy mountaintop.
Mm-hmm.
So mostly they live underground, and that's where a lot of the precious stones and metals come from. So there's been a lot of trade with Cragveer. That's something else we need to look at, but as Darvin says, there's a list. Right now, we need to deal with protecting home.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And
So,
that starts with...
How? Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just you wanted the venom of the
Amphisbaena.
Amphisbaena, thank you. For it again?
for a dragon slaying weapon. It's
Oh, right.
what we were told was that if we can get the elements of dragon to a steel singer, the steel singer, that means living acid, the nastiest poison we can find milked from a creature that's still alive. Uh, ice breathed by the living. Uh, holy fire.
And where does the cube come into?
That's their acid,
Oh,
which covers the black.
I see.
So
Also,
basically,
something about bottled lightning.
we have to stop through Egref and just be grateful that the governor there isn't as annoyed with us as some of the others. By the way, I did ask while I was speaking to the governor. Can we go back upstairs for a moment before these two go to their respective rests?
Mhm.
Because there's one other thing that we need to share with our new companion.
Mm.
Oh, yes.
I was told in direct quote was, "You be the one to tell her. I am not having the bunny do it."
Good, because I wasn't anyway.
It hurts you well back upstairs. It turns around to Ava and says,
All right.
"Look, this is not to be spoken anywhere else. This is not common knowledge. The people who figure it out are the people who really need to know already do.
Okay.
You know how the king of Baronsvere is apparently this black dragon?
Yeah.
The governors of the provinces of Equitas are... They call themselves the Five Claws of Bahamut, and each of them are an ancient metallic dragon. Belarus has the bronze. Here is brass.
Okay.
And the one here is really pissed at us.
Because
Me.
So wait, you cursed into a bunny by a dragon.
funnily enough, not the one, not the
Okay.
governor that's actually, not the dragon that actually governs here. The governor of the dragons here, the dragon that governs here is actually more martial. I think that Hazel would put it as stabby.
Stabby, smashy.
I see.
Spidey.
He takes people and turns them into... What was it?
Furniture.
Furniture works too, but I was gonna say... What's that? There's this... Do I have any inkling of what salsa is?
Actually, given your adoptive parents, yes.
Chunky salsa.
Oh, I see.
Spidey, slashy, smashy.
This was done to Darvin by the Silver Lady of Demille. She's apparently the oldest of them and the most magically inclined.
Well, one would have to be pretty powerful to get a strong, I suppose.
Well, when I screw up in a big way.
He's a bard.
Case in point, chandelier.
Yeah. It's basically how they work in a nutshell.
The reason I was given permission to tell you this is because we're going to be standing before at least one more of them, and it may come up, but I wanted to get permission first because I didn't want anyone else cursed this way, but given some of the reactions some of us had to finding out the first time, it seemed polite.
Okay. How would I feel about chromatic dragons versus metallic?
I think that given your history proficiency and your general stats, you'd know metallic good, chromatic bad by and large.
Right, basically. Okay.
It's a little bit more of a gray area for dragonborn, but
Right.
dragons generally follow that line.
Okay. Okay.
They're very much against Tima, and we're trying to keep them on our side.
I
And
can see that. Yeah, I can see one why would do that. Yeah, you don't really want to piss off a dragon.
Now you told me.
Yeah, given what she said initially was something in the line of having us for lunch if we fucked up.
And she didn't mean socially.
Well, no, I'd kind of gathered.
Yeah.
Well, thanks
I'm
for the
just doing
warning.
great at
Good to
influencing.
know. Good to know. Still, at least the metallic, not the other sort. Anyway. So, do I take not then?
I think you're gonna fit in just fine.
Yeah.
And on that note, we are getting to about that time, so we will call it for the evening. And in 2 weeks' time, your expanded party heads out
Heads up.
into the Elzor High Wastes.